The main purposes of films come from 1974, when theorist Blumler and Katz came up with four main uses we have for consuming the media. 1. Diversion, the need for escapism, to escape troubles and woes. 2. Personal relationships, using the media to fulfill the need for companionship. 3. Personal identity, using the media to find out about ourselves and relate. 4. Surveillance, using the media to find out about events going on around us. Since 1974, the uses and gratifications theory has modified to suit modern society, including reasons such as to entertain, inform, promote, educate, and persuade. My film's main purpose is to entertain and educate people on teenage life. My film achieves all of this through the many scenes showing examples of first love. As Katie sees Aaron Samuels, the whole scene changes from Katie talking about math and saying nothing can mess me up. That is until Aaron turns around and asks for only a pencil, which then the mise-en-scène performance changes. Music starts playing, her facial expressions change from concentrated to distracted and dazed, as she messes up a question she is asked. Rebellion, as on Katie's first day, her new friends Damien and Janice Ian make her skip class. Teen alienation, as Katie goes around the hall to find somewhere to sit, she is rejected by everyone. This results in her sitting alone in a toilet cubicle. People may also watch my film to identify with the characters and relate with them. There are many stereotypical types of teens in this film. There is actually a scene where Janice draws a map for Katie to show her the different friendship groups.
Did you ever think it might?
My film is associated with a teen comedy. This genre is often set in high school and involving adolescents' sexual adventures and conflicts with authority. Teen comedies are known as following storylines of coming of age, first love, rebellion, conflict with parents or friends, teen angst, or alienation. Typically, these films show students enjoying themselves at school, rather than showing the reality of things that happen in school. Usually, the settings of these films are school, bedrooms, and parties. School is where teens should be found, although, in teen comedies, school isn't recognised as being a typical place to learn, more like a place to socialise. Houses and bedrooms is where characters spend their time before and or after school. Parties is a typical view of teenage life. Drinking alcohol with blaring music is seen to be as cool. Typical teen life comes into play a lot in Mean Girls. The idea of prom or formal is called the spring fling. This plays as their homecoming. A very American tradition is to have formals whenever they can. The scene of the first party and Katie's party uses scenes including drugs, alcohol, and teen sex. This is what stereotypically is expected when teens have parties. It is seen as careless and rebellious. My film uses stereotypes to the extreme. As I said before, there is a scene where Janice draws a map of the canteen for Katie to show her the different friendship groups around the school. As Janice goes through the map, we see the friendship groups she is talking about. The cinematography used shows the camera shots at eye level in a medium shot. This represents the people we are seeing as unimportant. The camera goes around the canteen on a dolly, slowing when it gets to certain tables to show the groups and what they're like. My film is a subgenre of comedy, teen comedy. This subgenre appeals to people interested in comedy, most likely teens. My film agrees with its genre as it fulfills all the necessary requirements to be both a comedy and a teen film. In Mean Girls, Torodov's theory of narrative is applied. The film starts with the equilibrium. Everyone in the high school is content in their separate friendship groups, but not all equal. This can double up as the disequilibrium. Another disequilibrium could also be the plastics. They are seen to be a disturbance to the equilibrium. When Katie comes to the school, she joins the plastics. Katie then comes to an acknowledgement stage, where she finds the disturbance in the equilibrium is herself and the plastics. The solving stage is when Katie gives her speech at homecoming. She gets Spring Fling Queen, but gives parts of her crown to different people from different friendship groups. The new equilibrium is then completed without any inequalities. My favourite scene from Mean Girls is when the plastics are shown to the audience for the first time. This scene starts with Janice, Katie and Damien sat on the floor. Damien spots the plastics and starts talking about them. The shot cuts to a long shot of only two of the plastics walking to a field in minimum clothing surrounded by boys. This mise-en-scène gives authority to the plastics as the long shot of the plastics in front and everyone behind, with the bright colours of natural daylight, casting shadows behind them, and grass, it shows a sense of purity. This scene is shot from a low camera angle looking up at the plastics, quickly giving them a more powerful status above everybody else. We can hear Missy Elliott's song, Pass the Dutch, playing in the background. This is a non-diegetic sound as the characters cannot hear the song. The song is upbeat, which already we can see that the plastics have power as they are stood up, and Katie, Janice and Damien all sat down. Katie innocently asks who the plastics are, to which Damien replies,
"They're teen royalty. If North Shore was Us Weekly, they would always be on the cover."
Relating the plastics to royalty shows how important they are in high school. This gives them an authority, which is met further on in the film. Janice begins to explain the plastics one by one, starting with Karen Smith. It cuts to a medium close-up of Karen standing with her chest forward and her hands on her hips, which accentuates her feminine figure. Her face looks like she is daydreaming, as she turns to stand in a stance position to catch a ball. While this is happening, Janice explains Karen as,
She is one of the dumbest girls you will ever meet.
This is then agreed when Karen doesn't catch the ball and it hits her boobs. The shot then cuts to a medium close-up of the next plastic, Gretchen Wiener. Gretchen is on the phone looking confused. Being on the phone in school shows rebellion. This scene is shortly disturbed by a ball hitting her in the head. This makes her over-exaggeratingly fall and her phone fly out of her hand. This gives a weak girl stereotype to Gretchen. The rule of thirds can be seen here. This draws the audience's attention to the points of the crosses on the screen. The points being Gretchen, Karen and Regina. The shot cuts to Damien, which tells Katie that Gretchen is rich because her dad invented toaster strudel. Janice then explains she knows
Everything about everyone.
this is a crucial part of the film as Gretchen's knowledge is used against Regina George. The song, which continues to play, starts singing
What's happening?
when Regina is shown. Regina is the head plastic. We can tell this by her entrance to the scene. She is led back, carried by a group of boys, smiling. This shows her power over everyone in the school as she is given a goddess presence. Janice continues to talk, explaining that evil takes a form in Regina George.
Fooled, because she may seem like your typical selfish, backstabbing, slut-faced hoe bag, but in reality, she is so much more than that.
This description already introduces the hatred Janice has for Regina. It shows that Regina is someone that thinks everybody likes her, but really they don't. As Janice is saying this, the shot cuts to a close-up of Katie's face. Her eyebrows drop, and so does her mouth, as she seems worried about what or who is approaching her. It then comes back to Regina being lowered by the boys so she can stand on the floor. The boys stare at her beauty as she blows a playful kiss to the boys, showing first love. Katie is then shown again at an eye-level shot. She looks amazed by Regina, as if she really is royalty. The boys stare at her beauty as she joins the other plastics, which Damien then explains them as their minions, which gives them a further lower position under Regina.
How do I even begin to explain Regina George?
My film, Mean Girls, is based on the book Queen Bees and Wannabes, all about female high school social cliques and the damaging effects they can have on girls. Since it is a remake of a book, the screenwriter Tina Fey would have to read the book, taking note of the smallest of details as it is the original source. Tina then called the producer Lorne Michaels to say it would be a good idea to turn the book into a film. Lorne contacted Paramount Pictures, who purchased the rights to the book. The book is non-fiction, therefore Tina wrote the plot from scratch, with elements of her own high school experience. After the script was finished, casting began. Lindsay Lohan first auditioned for Regina George, but the casting team felt like she suited Katie's roles best, as Lindsay Lohan didn't want to harm her reputation. Rachel was cast as Regina, because Tina felt Rachel being kind and polite made her perfect for such an evil-spirited character. Amanda Seyfried also read for Regina, and the producers instead suggested her for Karen due to Seyfried's dumb and daft sense of humour. Alongside casting, production was already beginning, choosing location, lighting, camera shots and much more. Filming began in Toronto, Canada, at Etobicoke College, Malvern College and Montclair High School, New Jersey, even though the film is set in Evanston, Illinois. In pre-production, camera shots, lighting, makeup, costume, props, etc. have already been done, so filming should be quick and easy. Mean Girls took $17 million to produce and has earned over $129 million in profit. In post-production, the editors take all the raw footage to cut scenes, insert transitions. They work with voice and sound to dub the film. The editor will read the script to find the best places to cut the film according to their opinion. During the 8 to 10 weeks of post-production, multiple drafts will be made. The rough cut is first, and the last is the answer print. The sound editors will cut dialogue, recreate sound effects, and get cue sheets. Automatic dialogue replacement will sync the lip movement to the dialogue. Foley artists will recreate sounds that the actors cannot hear. This is known as non-diegetic sounds. The trailer will be made to convey the mood and atmosphere of the film, and the film will then be released to the public.
Okay.